The Glendoick Dwarf rhododendron hybrids produced by Peter Cox and Kenneth Cox in Scotland starts with this rhododendron Ludlowii, which was introduced in the 1940s, and from that Peter Cox produced Curlew, which was introduced in the 1960s and became a bestseller. Unfortunately, it was a little bit bud tender in the spring, so we also raised Swift, which was about 2 weeks later flowering, similar flowers, but avoids spring frosts. Rhododendron Camploginum white, with these little thimbles, produced Egret with tiny white flowers en masse. That's a very popular plant. And Merganza, which is the only yellow thimble-shaped flower. We produced a couple of vigorous pink dwarfs. This is Bramling, and slightly paler is Pintail. Both of them produce absolute massive pink flowers in April. Rhododendron Dendrochorus was introduced from Sichuan in China in 1986 and proved to be a good parent of scented plants like this one, Plover, and the slightly scented Tricia Cox, named after my mother, Peter Cox's wife. And another scented dwarf that we produced, which is now a bestseller, is called Tinkerbird. This is hardy enough to grow outside and flower well in most of the UK. Kiskio yakuferi was introduced from Japan in the 1970s, and from that we raised Wren, a really compact, probably the best-selling Glendoick dwarf, and I bred Crane in the 1980s. This is a pure white with yellow buds. And then Warrenburg in America was using yakuferi to raise a whole series of hybrids like Ginny G, Patty B, and this one, Wee Bee, the two-tone bestseller. Spinulifrum's a curious thing, tubular flowers. From that, we raised Razorbill, which has become a bestseller. And that's the story of the Glendoick hybrids. There are now 34 bird hybrids, and many of them are available mail order from Glendoick Gardens in Scotland, www.glendoick.com.